is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 537 of the Uplink podcast. Today, we just got a duo here. Zach is across the pond in Ireland, so I just got my boy Avery Aves Tanner here. How we doing?
Yes, sir. What?
Said, how we doing?
We're surviving. I have an exam tomorrow, and I'm nowhere near prepared for it.
That sounds about right.
My
That's
Calc 3
college.
class. My Calc 3 class is at the point where we're trying to figure out how to cheat the lockdown browser for tomorrow because we have no idea what the fuck we're doing.
You have to have the webcam on for that too, or just the lockdown?
No, it's online but in person. You're taking it in class but online.
That's AIDS.
And then now it gets better. Then we have an in person on paper, and then we have a take home that's due Monday.
That
So the
sounds
exam is 3
terrible.
parts. It is terrible. My teacher doesn't know how to read a fucking clock.
That's awful. I'm sorry. But other than Aves, being a college student, I'm very sorry. We had some Call of Duty that was played last weekend.
Yes, sir.
Actually, forget Bev check. And Zach's not here. We gotta get a Bev check, so I got a Coke Cherry tonight. Not very healthy, but you know what? It's a drink.
I have a smidge of water left.
Yes, sir. That's
There's a
that's the
smidge.
healthy option right there.
Well, after I drank Starbucks.
Sure. Buy some fucking coffee, not Starbucks, Captain Coffee. Buy some fucking coffee.
Definitely better coffee.
Let's get right into it. Let's get the screen share going. That's the pick'ems. We're not there yet. First match, Friday.
We crushed the pick'ems, by the way.
Yeah, our pick'ems were fire.
We crushed the fucking pick'ems.
New York versus Boston Breach. Yeah, Boston
Shit
got
show.
shit on.
Shit show.
Wasn't close. I mean, well,
No. Okay, it was close for 4
I
hills.
pull up something from this match because Boston was up 100, and then
yes.
Stop, you guys. Go stop.
Go,
Still in the same
quick.
spot.
Yeah, he got me. Let's do
Guys,
that.
I'm going back up. Pitching guys. Hydra.
Oh.
Referee, mute your fucking mic, please.
Going back up, guys. Top fire, weak.
Top fire,
Hydra.
there's two. One's absolute.
the graphic is obviously wrong. It's not LA Thieves versus Optic Texas, but if you can hear that,
It's fucking dish.
the ref started doing dishes in the middle of the game with his mic unmuted. What the fuck is going on?
He definitely has a girlfriend that said those dishes better be good done by the time she gets home, and she was gonna be home in 5 minutes, and he went to go fucking do them.
I mean, shit. Like, what are these refs doing? You're not even paying attention to the game. This blows my mind, bro. CDO, holy shit. It's a success, though. Anyways, Hydra popped off with a 1.65. That's the first, pop-off series, I feel like, this year from Hydra, if I'm being honest. He's been great, but, nothing like MVP. This was MVP Hydra in this series.
I mean,
22-9 in the control, shit. That's crazy.
I mean, it's pretty easy to have a pop-off series when Breach is
Yeah, Breach
chose they're still, I don't know where they are. They stay in their apartments that day.
Yeah.
And at first, in the first couple hills, you're like, okay, Boston
They had
came to
a
play,
70-point lead,
yeah.
and then they just scored 20 points the rest of the game.
I think I saw a screenshot. It was 146 to 78,
And
and
they
then
scored 10 points.
250 to 177. Yeah, it was close. That match was close for 4 hills.
Yeah.
And then they never saw the lead again. Did they have the lead in search? They got shit on search, right?
I know, but it was
like 6-3,
the 4-3 round was when Snoopy got really shit timing on Skies mid-map, where he's watching B-Dom.
Yep. Yeah.
And then he looks away and then walks 2 steps, and Skies then turns around and runs exactly where he was looking. And I do feel like if it does go 4-4 there, I mean, maybe Boston could close it out, but New York's looked so good in search. We'll see that later against when they played Faze, but this next game, holy, reverse sweep by Optic, and they did not deserve it one bit, because holy shit.
No, they did. It should have been an easy 3-0.
Yeah.
For Minnesota.
It was 3v14 in the control.
Yeah, and they got a clean 4, and they just sacked the point.
Yeah.
And it was the sub base was close, even though what I noticed was Optic would get the setup and they'd hold for the first couple seconds, and then they get broken on every single point. It felt like to where they just set up and they would get 10-15 seconds, and then they get broken, and Minnesota just held on for the rest of the time up until the end, and they made like scrapping. Obviously, they pulled it out, but this whole entire series up until like map 5, Minnesota clearly like the better team until the very end of
I mean, it
map
was
3 and map
surprising
4.
to see Optic get slammed on Rio, if I'm being honest. I mean, they just started slow, and Shotzi and Pred were not having a good map, and when your subs are getting shit on, like, you're not going to win Rio.
Lens is just fucking him.
Yeah, then they played, Liz had a hell of a series with a 1.25 plus 19, 2.5 in this turbo
Wait.
surge.
I think he leads. I gotta pull up my sheet, but I think Lens leads everybody this stage in First Bloods. And it's not even close. And it's not even close. He's got 14. He's 14-3 in like first engagements right now. No one. And second is Kismet with 12.
I mean, he's the only one that showed up in this game 5 with a 12-7. Being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sub base came down to the last P1 rotation where Minnesota, you could argue, should have won. Most likely should have won, but Shotzi got a blessed spawn. Shout out Sledgehammer. Yeah, there was no way in hell Rokkr's reading that, and he was able to get some kills off it, and Optic then clutched up. But I mean, the crouchy control ended. I mean, people have been arguing on the flank. The breakdown didn't happen this week, but the flank were saying, and even like Kenny in his breakdown, he's like, Wake cruised, but like he kind of trolled by cruising because he didn't. Like, him cruising wasted like 5 seconds, so it made it like a 3v3 going to the hill when it could have been a 4v3.
Yeah,
you have numbers, that type of thing. But then also Parasite was saying, well, if he's streaking there, streak that back alley so you can at least use the smoke to try to jump over the wall.
And a big brain, yeah.
And they didn't do either. And they trolled a 3v14. But I mean, props to Optic for clutching up. You gotta give him that. You gotta give him props for that, for being icy. Minnesota has lost, this is their second game 5 of the split now. We'll get to their next one shortly.
I feel like that cruise by Wade was like a panic cruise. Because
yes,
no, because they got like Optic got some kills and.
I mean, yeah,
like,
but at the same time,
it.
you can try to curve it through those front windows, get a kill, but like at the same time, you're up.
No, I'm talking about just popping the streak.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just popping the streak in general. Like, he saw a couple kills and they stacked the points. Like, oh shit, I gotta like cruise this.
Yeah. But then here we go, Miami, who are not looking great going in their home major versus the Las Vegas Legion, which the Legion reverse sweep. They had 2 Legion franchise history happened this series. Legion first time starting 2-0 in the CDL, and also their first reverse sweep in the CDL.
This is also their second time beating Miami.
Yes, it is.
Because they beat them in the major.
I mean, Miami took that 2-0
Purge had a better
like,
KD.
Oh yeah, Purge
he didn't drop the .46. He didn't drop the .46.
My boy Nero was shooting. That guy was frying all weekend. But I mean, Miami went up 2-0. Now you got to think like Miami's a decent control team, if not one of the best. All major 1, even the qualifiers. And they lost 3-1 to the Legion, and then it just went downhill from there. And they got smoked on the Rio and smoked on the Invasion Search.
But I feel like them being like one of the better control teams out stage 1 is like now irrelevant, just because they have Eric now and they just have looked so shit since then. Yeah. Like even when Journey was on the team, those last couple weeks they were like looking really bad. And now they're just like plummeting, and I think it's safe to say like it's them and Surge for like 2 worst teams in the league right now,
which sucks because Miami was very fun to watch. And then I mean honestly, I don't know if they had Journey, if they'd be playing better. You would think because they're used to him, but at the same time, like Eric was performing in challengers, and I think Miami likes the trio of Lucky Metals and Vickle, which I do too, and I think you got to think with them getting Real. He will be in as soon as possible, if not after the major. But I think at this point, you got to sub him in right away once he gets over here with the visa.
And I think we talked about it like in the first episode, where like when we were giving our thoughts about the team and whether they'd make playoffs. It was like they had, I forget who said it. Maybe it was me, but like they would start off hot and then they would kind of like fall off. They'd like. Stage 1 would be like really good, and then they would slowly start to go down, and then pick it back up like major 4, but still miss playoffs because too little, too late. feel like that's what we're seeing now. I think with this playstyle that they have, like the super aggressive, in your face playstyle, like you either get slammed or you slam them. There's really no in between. And I feel like with Eric, maybe they're playing like maybe in game they're playing just as fast, but it feels like they are moving really slow. Like they don't feel like they have nearly the pace they have.
As good as it was with Journey.
It feels like way slowed down compared to before, and maybe that's what's hurting them. But I do agree, like a Real might be. Also, freaking Metals is a walking blood.
Yeah, that guy's got to get in better positions for trade.
He's 7-22 in first engagement.
That's insane.
Like
That's actually insane. 29 engagements for first.
Which isn't a bad thing, but you gotta be better than 7-22.
50 there.
Like, and that could be like maybe he's either going rogue and his team isn't ready to like be in position to help him, either trade him out or give him enough cover to like get in position to get a blood, or they're like they know he's gonna try and get a blood, he's trying to be aggressive, and they just choose not to help him.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is, but like 7-22 in first engagements for Metals is not good.
I mean, they're gonna have to win out most likely to make the winners bracket at their home major, or we'll have back-to-back events with the host not being in the winners bracket.
Yeah. Maybe don't host an event and
maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's bad luck. Moving on though, we got Toronto playing the Las Vegas Legion. And we had a 3-0 bebop coming in from Toronto, but honestly, Legion trolled. Arguably.
3-0 bebop.
I mean, they could have won that Rio. They were up by like 80 points at one point.
They won. They lost 3-1. Oh, you mean like Legion could have?
Yeah, I'm saying no.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying like. I mean, the control wasn't that close, but like the 2 hard points, like Legion definitely could have won.
Oh, for sure. Like I mean, they were down quite a bit in the first hard point, if I remember right, and then they brought it back, and we were like sitting in Discord, like, oh my god, this is like possible.
Lead by like 60, 60.
Yeah, but they were like,
they
like,
lost it, and then they were starting to bring it back.
They were down a good bit.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back, and we're like, oh my god, this is like possible.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know what happened. I know Nero like got a pinch to like the Dawg, and then he died from someone back like P4, and then I don't know what happened after that. They just kind of like got pinched.
Yeah, they just trolled the last P2 because I'm pretty sure they had the early rotation, but someone on Ultra just went huge and got like a 2-piece. And
I think it was Envoy.
Probably, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't remember, but I do know Legion wasn't like in position to win.
Yes,
that game,
and they should have.
And then they slammed them on that Rio Surge. That shit was
which is
close.
Crazy.
Geo didn't die.
Yeah, he had Infinity. Gears looked really good. And Purge 9-4.
I mean, honestly, just watching that, Toronto was not watching the pinch whatsoever. And Legion, I'm pretty sure it was Nero and Purge just double hitting everything together and pinching.
Yeah.
And like Toronto had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Purge, like it's crazy. Like the way he plays with the sub compared to an AR is like night and day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like he leads in first bloods also.
I believe it. I mean, Legion's been
he's 7-6. Yeah, but like you would I would think like Nero or who it's too soon for Geo. Like Nero would be the one leading them in first engagements, but
true.
It's been Purge 7-6 in first engagements,
mm-hmm.
and some of those came with like an AR, maybe like like AR and Surge compared to like AR and Respawn.
Yeah,
the difference, but he's looked really good. And Search, and he's starting to pick it up in respawns now.
The high-rise control, Legion gave Toronto their first loss. No, Legion won their first control Major 1 on high-rise against Toronto. But then Toronto came back in the sub-duo, Nero and Purge. I mean, you're not really running a sub on this map much. But Kleenex was, and that motherfucker dropped 35 with a sub only. I mean, he probably picked up that MCW a couple times, but that guy had
primarily
a main sub in his hand, and he dropped 35 kills. Which, if that's happening, you're probably not winning.
It's doable though.
It's doable, but it's difficult.
If it's difficult, but if you can position yourself right, like if you just like
You roam that underground blue.
Yep.
like,
If
that's all
you
gotta
just
do.
make that your home and spawn traps and just play super ratty, like you can have a lot of success. But if you can't get in those positions, then you're just a liability. But
Exactly.
Kleenex I'm pretty sure. Wait, go back to the search. I think Kleenex led all, or not the search, the control. Yeah, like
most
led the
damage,
lobby. Led the
most
lobby.
Damage, highest KD, most kills. With a sub primary, which is insane.
Shout out Kleenex.
But moving on, we had the boys Optic Texas going on against LAG, which Assault.
There was no
kinda didn't
trolling
have
in
a stinker shitting, but oh my words, Assault finally didn't have a stinker series. There we go.
There you go.
He went at 1.09, but DiamondCon and Fame did not have the best series. But I mean, Karachi Optic did say they don't play Karachi a lot, and I even said that when I saw them. Like, I don't think Optic plays Karachi that much, and I was correct. But they said they're working on it. And LAG, unfortunately, is a team that you can kind of work on maps against because they're not very good. But Karachi's LAG is one of their best hardpoint maps, and they came out and fucking showed it because they slammed them.
Yeah, they looked really good. I still think like map 1. Like if Shotzi doesn't drop a 0.4, if he drops anything higher,
Yeah,
he
Shotzi
might
had
win
a
that.
tough game. That's for sure.
But he showed that was his warm up map. He fried the rest of the way.
I mean, shout out DiamondCon with 32 and 19, but then he got shit on the rest of the way. I mean, Shotzi turned it up. Shotzi went 8-4 in the search with a 6-2 Rio victory, which obviously looked pretty good on Rio as well. Map 3, the control on Karachi went round 5, but Shotzi 31 and 26 with a 1.19. He started turning it around after that. Green card for Optic on the control. I'm pretty sure it went round 5. Optic had defense, so they just spawn trapped and they kind of were destroying on their defenses. The map 4 on the Skid Row hardpoint, which is one of Optic's best maps. Shotzi again with 23 leading the lobby. And Pride to be in the Hillkin. Look at that. With the 122 on there. Sure. But, I mean, this is a series that, I mean, people said Optic 3-0, but, I mean, Gorilla's got a map, which you got to tip, but Optic wants to play Rio. Search, they were saying. They wanted to get more reps in it, which a lot of teams should be. I mean, why not? It's probably better than have majority of the maps in there. It's better than fucking Terminal, that's for goddamn sure. But, I mean, Optic goes 2-0 on the weekend with a match they shouldn't have won against Minnesota, but they did, and then beating LAG while testing maps. So
relatively decisive one.
Yeah. LAG. I mean, honestly, I was gonna do the math to see what Shotzi's KD was if you only go maps 2, 3, 4, because it's probably like a 1.3.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up getting a 0.97, which, I mean, that's typical after getting smoked like that on that game 1. But LAG
nice little bounce back at the Shots.
0-3,
nope.
I believe, out of the boys. 0-2. They've only.
Did we see a change out of them soon?
Wait. Okay, dude, this scheduling's fucking terrible. How have LAG? It's been 2 weeks and only played 2 games. Jesus Christ. And Miami's played 4. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Miami. LA Thieves. The ticker is wrong. It says 3-0 LA Thieves or 3-0 Heretics. I don't know why the hell it did that. I swear I changed that shit. But it was 3-2 to the Thieves. Thieves finally win a freaking hard point. Holy shit. On the Karachi.
And it took Ghosty having a masterclass to do it.
That boy needs some fucking help, bro. Like, get Afro.
Nazi played well.
Get Afro off that fucking team, bro. I'm sorry. I can't stand watching that guy playing. His comms are fucking terrible. But Thieves go up 2-0. Then Miami bounces back on the control on high rise and the invasion hard point, where Lucky had a map 1.93 out of the board.
Yeah, he did.
But then map 5. Pretty sure this game went. Yeah, game 5 round 11.
Somehow.
And I don't have the clip, but I did see it. I think Kenny's video, his recap video, he shouted out Ghosty by playing the back plane. He was crouched behind the chair where Miami could not see him when they slid into the plane, and he just popped up, got 3.
It's so hard, dude. It's so hard to see people behind those back chairs sometimes because your name won't show up. So and especially if you're like, oh, who was it? I think you, me, Phoenix and Nico played ranked.
We got 3 pieces. We team killed twice.
There's a kid with a surge skin on, and it blends right into the wall with the plane.
Chairs.
You couldn't see him because the name doesn't pop up. So like, it just can be super difficult to
you couldn't see shit.
Spot people there unless you throw a stun or something.
Yeah.
And you get like an indicator.
I know Aves was talking about medals and his engagements here, and 2-10 out of the boy.
Yeah.
You gotta think if that guy doesn't have a fucking stinker. I guarantee most of those are first bloods too, of him getting blooded first.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't keep track game by game. I kind of just like lumped them all.
Mm-hmm.
But he was getting blooded a lot.
I mean, it looks like Afro had a lot of. Metal just had a shitty S&D day. Holy, the guy went 5 and 16 in the 2 S&D games.
It was a weekend to forget for him, S&D wise.
For sure, but shout out LA Thieves finally got on the board 1-1. They're looking. I mean, they look better, but again, Miami was on the downtrend. So
I don't think so.
They won a hard point. They won that winners bracket. I don't.
No, and I feel like we're gonna be seeing another change soon. It took Ghosty. I almost Dashing. Holy shit! It took Ghosty having.
The only way they ever get close to winning is because of Ghosty going sicko mode. Like that's it.
Exactly.
If he's not playing well, they get slammed.
And this it took him having to like have record numbers, and they still almost lost it.
Yeah.
That's what like H was saying like on the phone. He was like, yeah, like they won, but they still don't look good. It took a guy putting everyone on his back, and they went around 11 map 5.
Yeah, they
like
barely
there is
won.
an issue.
They literally
there.
barely
Yeah,
won.
exactly. So
Yeah,
I think we will be seeing another change
Yeah.
relatively soon.
I agree, for
Maybe
sure.
probably after the major.
Yeah, most likely after the major. I don't see him making another change beforehand. But moving on, Sunday we had Carolina facing the Seattle Surge. We all had Carolina winning this. Surge just looks absolutely fucking terrible. Like they might be up there with. I mean, they're the worst team in the league. Like Miami's better than the Surge. Like Seattle is now the worst team in the league. Like I'm sorry.
I was sitting in Discord with Josh and Doug, and we were watching like I think it was map 4 or maybe it was map 3. I was like, does Surge know how to play respawn?
Bro, again, they like just don't go A on control on high rise. Like they just don't care, and Carolina walked right on it just like New York did. I just don't get it. Like Rambo's gotta be losing his mind. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on. They also broke another fucking GA. This motherfucking Brezzy stair glitching the fuck out of him on Rio on P1 and on P5 stairs. He did it fucking twice.
And it wasn't like he got an engagement drop shot. He freaking laid down.
Motherfucker said, "I'm on the Surge. We've already broken 5 GAs. Why not another one?" DJ Khaled, that motherfucker. Another one. Like Jesus Christ, dude. Now they're not gonna get fucking practice. I don't even know if teams want to practice with them because they're fucking terrible. Like, but I mean, shout out Alec. He finally had a good series, and the whole team got fucking smoked. Like, Brezzy's terrible. The Brezzy Hoog duo does not fucking work. Abuza's trying his best, but, like...
He needs to stay on full-time AR.
Yeah. I mean, Arseny's single-handedly won that Terminal Surge.
Yep.
Without him, they don't win that.
Yep.
I mean, Carolina, I mean, their respawn's been looking pretty good. I mean, their hard point, they won each game by 100.
That's not saying much considering who they're playing against, though.
But even when they're playing, like, the better teams, like, the hard points are close. So I don't feel like they're not really...
They're competitive,
yeah, they're competitive with them. So I think Carolina does pull out the winners bracket. I don't know the rest of their schedule. We'll see in the pick'ems coming up here soon. But I think losers bracket right now, it's got to be Surge, Thieves, Miami, and I mean, Minnesota's 0-3. And they play Faze. So
Carolina only plays one match this weekend, and it's against Optic.
Okay, so Carolina's going to be 1-3.
And then week 4 they play Gorillas and Heretics, which both those games are winnable for them.
Yeah, so I don't know about Minnesota's rest of their schedule, but they're 0-3. They shouldn't be, but they're 0-3.
Minnesota has 2 games this weekend. They play Rokkr on Friday they play Faze on Friday. Holy shit!
Yeah.
And Thieves on Sunday.
Yeah, so
they can go 1-1,
maybe 2-0. I might pick them beating Faze, but
nah. Rokkr cannot close against. They can't close in general.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not going to be able to close
Also,
against
back
Faze.
to Raven, shout out Fellow. Guy finally had a banger series with him slaying numbers, 1.25, and it was against Surge. But if Fellow, like, it's the same thing with, like, Vegas. If that 4th player, like Purge or Godorex, that's what it was, if they could get someone that could get 10 more kills on the map per series, they probably win a lot more series. And Fellow, yes, he brings a lot more intangibles, but, like, if they had a...
they had a lens.
not a lens, be a flex. Let's say they had temp.
A
I think if
flex?
they had temp,
A temp
like
would go
just
crazy.
getting more kills. Like if they got,
him and
I always
Clayster,
wanted to get
too.
temp. Yeah, it would
Him-
literally be the Vegas
him,
Legion
Cl-
roster from last year, but Gwyn instead of Sandy.
Yeah.
And we all think that if they had that roster last year, the whole year, they make champs.
Yeah.
So I mean, Fellow popped off. Hope he can keep it up at the sling. He's been grinding 8s and stuff. It seems so. Moving on, we got Minnesota versus Boston. This is a banger series. This is a very good series to watch.
Nice bounce back from Priest.
Yeah, Preston had a great
And-
series. at 1.16.
And Slasher
Snoopy popped
was
off at 1.2.
a menace in respawn.
Yeah, Slasher played really well. He doesn't lose to Lamar. I'm pretty sure his record against accuracy is like insane. Like he doesn't fucking lose to accuracy. Map 1, Invasion. Boston took it pretty convincingly. The map 2. So, Boston's search is probably one of the worst in the league. They're fucking terrible.
It is the worst in the league.
But
No, Carolina
Slasher was saying like their problem right now is they're getting the info. And that's what Slasher likes to do, right? He likes to play slower, play for picks, get info, and then react off that information and make plays off it. They're getting the info, but they're just not doing anything with it. So like they're doing it right, they're just not committing to the play. So
they're getting info, but not being proactive and trying to put themselves in position. I hate like the term like play for picks. I feel like the blanket, like the broad definition or the meaning behind play for picks is kind of like
you're waiting for them to fuck up.
Play conservative. Hopefully you can see somebody, but I feel like if a disciplined team doesn't like over peak or anything, you're gonna be stuck in your base.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you can play for picks but still be proactive on the map, whether it's like maybe you get like on Invasion, you get yourself up if you got the ball, you work your way up in the mannequin and you somehow find your way in the cafe. You can get people in like
you can still be aggressive by playing for picks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to sit in your base. You can be proactive on the map and try and gain some early ground. Especially with smokes now, you can use the smokes. You can smoke crosses. You can rat your way up, and it's like you don't have to just sit in your base.
Yeah, and then
you can still get the same amount of information by playing a little bit more up.
Yeah,
at least especially with the sub.
Yeah,
let Asim or Snoopy get up in there somewhere and
slide like mid tank or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get info while also being aggressive.
Like,
but I mean Minnesota's. Boston just got work on their search. Their respawn's fine. Like it's not great. It's not shit. They can work on some stuff, but like, Hunter, hello.
Hello.
You are aware we are recording, right?
Yeah, so I didn't say anything. What's up, podcast? Special guest.
We're on the Boston Minnesota series. You probably didn't watch shit, but
yeah, I've been a little busy.
Yeah, unfortunately, but we'll get you in the pick'ems.
All right.
Here, I'm gonna actually I'm not gonna get your camera on. Fuck it. Any Hoosers, Boston's got to work on their search, which they made Lamar absolutely irrelevant map 5, and I think Rokkr's problem in search is they don't adapt to when their strats are shut down. Because they look lost.
They're a plan A team, and that is the only plan they got.
Yeah. And if that plan A does not go well, they're like, what the fuck do we do? Because Lamar literally had 0 kills until like the last round of that search. Like,
I mean, Lens didn't have himself.
Lens didn't do great. No one did great. Like Boston completely hard countered them, which like props to them for doing that. Which is
especially in search, which I ended up changing my pick from 3-1 Boston to 3-2. But when I changed, I was like, Boston's not good in search. And so I was worried, and yet they beat him in search, and convincingly too. Which I mean, going back to like the plan A and nothing else, like all or nothing. I feel like there's more teams out there that are just like if their plan A doesn't work right away on both sides, they are just stuck and they don't know how to like. Even if like mid-round adjustment, I feel like
that's a problem with a lot of teams.
Don't.
Optic's been working on it; they're getting better. But that's like Optic's problem too. That's what Kenny was saying. It's like mid-round adjustments. It's like being on the same page with what, like someone will say, "Oh, hey, like we're in a 3v2, right? Or 3v3. Yeah. We got blood, got traded, whatever. What do we do next?" Like someone will say this, and then someone says the other thing, and then it's just like, okay, well now they just slid on us, and now we're fucked. Like it's just kind of. It's hard to practice the situations because every
situation
play a lot
is
of search,
different.
but it's like that's the thing with Call of Duty compared to like, I mean, Valorant's kind of the same, but like Call of Duty's so like situational where it's very hard to like when you're watching a VOD of a match, the odds the same way that match gets played out exactly the same is so unlikely. So like, oh well, but in search you can probably okay, well if you're in a situation on this part of the map, you can kind of like say, okay, well we have this part of the map locked down, we can do that type of thing and react to it. But mid-run adjustments, a lot of teams got to work. But props to Boston going 1-1 on the week.
I think like with the
2-1
mid-round
so far, they're looking good to make winners.
Yeah, I mean, you would after that New York series, you were fearing the worst from them.
Yeah,
they would just get smoked by Minnesota, but
Yeah.
they had a nice little bounce back, which they really needed.
Yes, for sure. Moving on to the last match, so we had Atlanta Faze versus New York Subliners, which was a fucking banger. We did predict New York winning this. Zach had 3-1, I think. I don't know if we put a 3-2. I haven't looked at the pick'em, but I know we did predict New York winning this. But we also had New York losing to Boston, which didn't happen. But
No.
New York, we had New York bouncing back and just slamming Faze, which they didn't need to bounce back. They just slammed Faze. They absolutely hard counted them in the search. Shout out Slasher. In his interview, he said, I got New York. They're winning both searches. And that's exactly what fucking happened. They 6-0'd Faze on one of the Faze's best search maps in High Rise. And Faze looked lost. Like, New York was just hard countering. It was insane to watch, to be honest. Like, we've been saying, like, New York has been inconsistent. Like, they haven't impressed me. Now they have. Like, they're looking insane now. But, like, all the major one, like, yeah, they went 5-2 or 6-1 or whatever. But, like, they weren't impressive to me. And then they got top 12. And I'm like, they got shit to work on. But their thing that maintained consistency was their search. Their search was disgusting. That's why they won so many of those games in Major 1. And they proved it to Sunday night against FaZe and absolutely slammed them in the searches. But yeah.
Am I wrong in thinking like FaZe is showing more and more cracks in the armor now? Or are we just taking this New York and it's like New York just got the better of them today?
I think New York's back. If New York's back, I think they're better than FaZe. Because I think FaZe is good. I mean, they're great. But they do a lot of the... I'm not going to compare them to Boston in last year, but they do a lot of the killing, but not a lot of being in the right spot on the map and winning. Because this is what Ake said, I think, or it's Paris. I don't know. Someone on the flank. I saw it on Twitter. Like, they don't think FaZe got that dog in them. Like, they
Which
don't
is
think,
crazy.
Like, they're insane. They are the like 4 most talented players, arguably, in the league. But they just, I mean, they got second again against Toronto. They got slammed in that final. It's like when it comes to winning important games, it's like they just can't do it, which is like insane to say. But I don't know. I mean, they're still great. They're still a top.
Their hardpoint hasn't looked.
Yeah, their hardpoints looked iffy all year.
But like that, you can always rely on them in Surge.
Yes, but New York
like,
absolutely.
But like, do we think their Surge is better than New York still, or does New York take
New York
over?
Surge over them. Honestly,
but has it been? Would you have thought that this whole entire year leading up to now?
You could argue it. I don't know what their records are, but I mean, New York won a majority of their searches in Major 1 other than at the LAN, I feel like. But, I mean, FaZe has also been really good at search. Toronto's also insane at search. I think Toronto's just the best team in the game right now. FaZe is still second, then New York third. But if FaZe somehow loses to Minnesota, like, I don't know. I don't know. But I do know FaZe plays Toronto again. This split.
Well, they're 14-4 in search. New York is, and then FaZe is bad team stats. They are 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 6 in search. So they're close.
Yeah, they're
close together.
I mean, New York looks like they're back, which good for them. I was a little worried, but
if they make Saturday, I'll say leave.
They gotta not get slammed.
Like I don't want to call them all-liners after one major, but after like a top 12 in order to prove they are back because they did well online last stage, they got to make at least a Saturday.
Yeah, that's fair. Before we do get to the team of the week, I do want to say something I saw yesterday. CDL owners are negotiating with Activision for greater revenue shares, and this probably comes out after. This did come out after the whole lawsuit with Hex and them showing everyone that the revenue shares are fucking dog shit. Basically,
took a lawsuit to get some action.
I believe everything that like the team packs, that's just evenly split throughout all the teams, which you can argue makes sense, but at the same time, Optic probably gets most of those team packs being purchased, and they have to split with the Vegas Legion, who do no marketing whatsoever. I know baseball is revenue sharing like that, but that's like the Dodgers having to share 10% of their fucking profit off of stadiums with the A's every single day.
We do.
I don't think it's that much.
Maybe not 10%, but we do have.
Like, I know there's a revenue sharing, but it's I'm saying like
team revenue. Like I don't know what the percentage is, but they do give a portion.
Yeah, I know
which,
that.
But that still makes sense. Like the A's don't do anything in the
exactly.
The
that's what I'm saying. Like it's dumb, but right now it's everything. Like it's not like the Dodgers are keeping 90 and giving the A's 10. This is like 12 do 100 divide whatever the fucking math is. Every team is getting a dollar basically from each team pack because they're $12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Optic should like that just doesn't make much sense in my opinion. But the revenue shares need to be better. And honestly, with all this stuff going on in the CDL, it sounds like the CDL is still going to exist next year.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Because why wouldn't like it's like why would they?
Why would they even try? But
it could be a good thing if we see some like that too.
It ain't gonna happen. Not right now. Maybe not. I could be faded. But if TSM buys that LAG spot, like it's rumored how they want to be in COD and everything, and they get that LAG spot, and TSM is now in Call of Duty League, a big a brand as that, like you get that's just, the
well,
CDL
like G2's in.
Yeah, G2's in it. Yeah, G2's now in it.
And Heretics, like these bigger brands are still like coming, but yet you would like it feels like it's same old with the league.
12 teams, like it's like I feel like would TSM
but you would also think with bigger
if the LAG spot wasn't going to be for sale? Like, do you think they'd still want in? I do.
I'm gonna be honest. If I'm a company looking at the CDL,
it's not smart.
I wouldn't touch it. No.
But I'm sure they won't have to spend $20 million to get in. I wouldn't.
I think if I am an org owner, I want to see like actual improvement because it feels like untouchable the way things are right now. And unless you,
I think
revenue
the
gets
orgs
better
are
and
also
structure.
Looking at the fact that Xbox and Microsoft now owns them, and they think that Xbox and Microsoft will be taking steps in the right direction.
Well, you could think that, but I wouldn't want to join until I see it.
Yes, but then again, like Aches always says, I gotta see these fucking presentations these motherfuckers show to these org owners, because holy shit.
Mind tricking them, yeah.
They had to make this thing sound like it's fucking godlike. It's a fucking piece of hot garbage. Let's move into the Captain Coffee Team of the Week. We got Ghosty, Brucey, Dashy, Bruce Dashy, my bad.
Are you showing it?
Hydra, and Nero. I can.
I don't
Give me
see
a second. I'll show it for you. It is on the screen.
There we go.
Dan Ghosty is the only reason
on
Thieves
the
come
OBS.
close to winning games. If I'm being honest. He popped off. I don't remember his KD. Dashy was consistent with the two games with a 1.16 for both games, going 2-0. Hydra looked like MVP Hydra again. Yes, he had a 0.9 against Faze, but that 1.6 against Boston, he probably had like a 1.3 overall. I didn't do the math, but Nero was shooting. Yes, they went 1-1, but that guy was absolutely frying in their first game against Miami. He's arguably the only reason they was even close against Toronto. But yeah, Nero, the guy's been shooting. What do you think of the Team of the Week, Aves?
I think we nailed them. And like Hydra, huge series against Boston. Granted, Boston just didn't show up. And then he dropped what, like a .9 something
I think it was like
against
a
FaZe.
.96 or something, 9.4.
So like, but he's against FaZe, and I think when you're going against teams like that, as long as you're being productive and helping them win, you're not completely shit in the bed.
Yeah.
Like it's a true team effort to where like Hydra doesn't, or Hydra, you cannot afford Hydra just going and carrying the team all by himself. Like it took everybody, even if it means dropping a
not
.9.
against the top 4 teams. You cannot afford to
So-
have someone dropping a .7. Like you're gonna get fried if that's happening.
So he played fantastic. Dashy both series.
It's nice to see
Balled out.
Dashy fucking shooting again. I don't know if
Sure.
Aches lit that fire under his ass or if he's just adapting better, he's learning his role, like his new role, how he's playing, like he's just doing better. I mean, Octane was saying that you can be the Hill Kid and get a shitload of kills. I did it for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's what Octane's play style was. He was getting in the hill and he's getting a shitload of kills. Always had a top KD, and that's kind of where Dashy's going now.
Nero against Heretics, and it started with the control and him just turning up in the control, and he continued that through the rest of the series. Because if he doesn't have that
He
kind of
started
series,
out like 10-0 or something, I'm pretty sure in that
Yeah.
control. He started off on a streak.
and his energy and how he was performing that control, if he doesn't have that, I don't think they come close to reverse sweeping. But
No.
it started with him. He led them, and everyone followed, and they were able to pull it out. And then Ghosty freaking putting the team on his back, everybody, and dropping a 1.14 against Miami.
You almost had
And
the
he-
damage record, right?
He was like 50 under.
Yeah. Like, if Ghosty isn't performing at all, that Thieves team is just shit, which is insane. Like,
Which even though like Afro dropped over 1, Nasty dropped over. He was .01 off Ghosty's KD. Nasty was
yeah, but Ghosty had significantly more damage and kills, didn't he?
95, 88. And then damage 19,982 to 16,957.
3,000 more damage.
Yeah,
Which
but
is insane.
like Nasty, like it's not like he shut the bed. It was
Nasty
solely
Nasty
Ghosty,
looked better, yeah, for sure.
but Ghosty led him, and it started with him. He is the glue. He is the catalyst. If he
He is undroppable.
doesn't perform well, yes. If he's not performing well, then everyone looks lost, like you said. But Nasty had a really good performance. Afro, I mean, he's probably
Afro's
we're
next.
still on the fence about him.
Afro's
but he
next.
played
he's,
okay.
He's gone.
but,
yeah, that's the
Ghosty led
Captain
him.
Coffee team of the week. Buy some
Which-
fucking coffee.
I apologize, Ghosty. I was not familiar with your game.
Yeah,
Which is crazy because I mean, it was definitely the roles and the impact per team. Like Ghosty wasn't up until like champs. He wasn't like leading teams like that statistically. It was all through his,
Well, he didn't
like,
have
his
to on
brains.
Optic, that's
Exactly.
the
Like that's what I'm saying. Different teams, but like now Ghosty has
I
to
think
go
Parasite
from
was
just
saying
being
that in the flank a lot.
a
He's like,
fill.
yeah, Ghosty's not getting that many kills because he doesn't fucking have to on this Optic
No.
team. Like, he's not what he's there for. But he can, and he's showing that he can be a top slayer on a bad team, but he can slay if he has to, basically. Well, let's move on to the pick'ems, baby. First off, we got Faze, Minnesota. Sorry, Minnesota, you might get 3-1. Do we have them losing another game 5?
No, I have them losing 3-1 as well.
3-1. We can lock in a 3-1 there. That's gonna be a banger. That should be a
Minnesota
good
wins
game.
control.
It would not surprise me if Minnesota wins this series, honestly, because they've been looking good. FaZe only played 2 fucking games. Minnesota's played 3 already against 2 top 4 teams. Boston's climbing. They're probably like top 6, top 6, 7 right now.
But Minnesota cannot close.
Yes, they have no ice, so it kind of has to. They have to win in 3-1 or 3-0.
Well, not even talking about just game 5. Just they just haven't closed
closing out any
maps.
games, yeah. But I
Like,
think their hard point might be better than FaZe's low key, even though they've lost a couple close ones. Like I think their hard point in general might be
Maybe.
better than FaZe's.
Maybe.
I could see them playing Rio.
But FaZe has also had some maps in hardpoint. Like, damn, like.
Like if you're Minnesota,
They
you're
look
trying
really
to get
good.
sub base, obviously, because that's FaZe's worst hardpoint map.
No way. I bet you FaZe bans
But
it.
if FaZe bans it, like you're either squaring up on Rio or you're banning like.
Has FaZe played Rio yet?
Yeah, they slammed Week
I
1.
forget.
I don't know who they played, but they absolutely slammed them. Was it Vegas? I don't know. Whoever they played week 1, they absolutely slammed them on.
Okay.
And then we're not even going to talk about this next one. DoorDash Challenge. See you later. Toronto Ultra 3-0. Boston Breach
Almost
versus
win.
Vegas Legion. This could be a good one. I do have Boston closing it out in a.
I have Boston 3-2.
See, I think 3-1 because I feel like if it goes Game 5, Legion's search is just better. I mean, Boston just proved they can win a Game 5 against Minnesota, a good team. But
It is map dependent
I
for that Game
will-
5 on who wins it.
I-
It is a coin flip. If it goes
I
3-2,
got Boston
it is a
winning.
coin flip.
I want to do 3-1 just because I'm unsure about the Game 5, but I could see it Game 5 as well. So I think I'll set out Game 5.
I have the hopium that them winning that Karachi is a turning point.
That is true. That is true.
But they've won. I mean, they haven't won that many searches, but they've won searches before. He was like, "Oh, maybe it's time they finally get it together." So we'll see.
Yeah.
I have.
I'll stick
This
with
match is
3-2.
literally a coin flip.
What, Optic Carolina?
No, I'm talking about Boston.
Oh,
Actual coin flip.
Optic Carolina.
3-0 Optic.
I'll give Carolina a map because Optic could come out slow again and lose that first hard point. They did it twice in a row last week. I know Kenny was sick, whatever, but still. I wonder if they square up on Subbase, and if they do, Carolina, that's like one of their best maps. And it's one of Optic's better maps, even though they barely played it last major, but they've won it every single time they played it, I'm pretty sure.
Pred and Shotzi go crazy on sub base, even with ARs.
Yeah.
They Pred jump 40 with an MCW. I mean, granted, an MCW.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny and
But
him
still.
had like 80 combined almost, pretty much.
Yup.
Oh, we got a fucking Burger Bowl, Jesus.
Surge
versus
3-2.
LAG.
Surge 3-2.
Hell no. I'm going LAG. Surge is not winning that, bro. LAG,
No,
they look bad, but they're better than Seattle.
Nah, listen. RC's is going to have himself a day. And I think Hook has a bounce back, and they're going to lead it.
I'll go with it. I don't like it, but I'll go with it.
It is complete hopium on my end.
Dude,
But like,
I got
I did say Surge. We did say Surge was the worst team.
Nah, bro. Surge
But
is
a
not
blind
winning
nut-
this shit, bro. I'm
but-
going
but
LAG
a-
3-1.
But a blind nut finds a squirrel.
I'm doing LAG.
And this could be the
3-1.
blind nut.
No, LAG is winning this 3-1. I'm not switching
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Moving
Just don't come
on.
at me when Hook drops a 1.2.
New York versus Miami. Miami's
have
look
New
like
York
shit,
31.
bro. Like, this is going to be a 3-0 with the way New York's looking, and I hate that.
I had
hate
3-1, but I'm down to go 3-0 as well.
that. I hate it. Toronto versus FaZe. I think Toronto's still the better team overall.
Yep.
And
I have Ultra
I'll go-
3-2.
I'll go 3-1. I'll go Game 5 though for the fans. Gotta be a banger.
I mean, I could do.
I just think
No,
Toronto's
let's talk.
hard point's
Let's
so
talk about.
good. If
Let's
you
talk
don't
about
think
this for a little
Toronto-
bit.
I think Toronto. I don't think it gets to Game 5. I think Toronto's winning both hard points, and they're taking either Game 2 or 3. Like, I just don't see it going
FaZe
5.
wins the search, and that's it.
I can see him winning the search or the control, depending on what the control map is. I mean, I doubt they play Invasion. If they do, it's like a fucking toss up. I can see.
I feel like FaZe can win a hard point.
Nah, listen. I think they're gonna play high rise control because Toronto wants to see how they are against FaZe on FaZe's best control map, and FaZe is gonna take it. That's the map FaZe is winning.
Interesting. I mean, maybe.
Because I don't think they played them on the high rise control in the grand finals. They played Karachi
finals?
and Invasion. I don't even know if they played the
Invasion.
two, but they played. They didn't play high rise. I don't think.
Didn't they win it? Didn't Toronto win like 4-1?
Yes, that's why I don't think it even went to the second control.
No.
But I
mean,
think Toronto's going to want to see how FaZe isn't banning high-rise control. Because that's Toronto's worst and their best. So they're probably going to ban Invasion. And then Toronto's going to either... I think Toronto wants to see how they are against them on high-rise.
And Toronto and FaZe are essentially locked. Well, they'll probably be locked for winners.
Oh, yeah. There will be a
So,
winner.
like, you can afford to, like, do that.
Like it's
the
literally
series.
looking like the top 4 seeds are going to be the top 4 teams in Optic, New York, Faze, Toronto.
Yeah.
So
We can go 3-1 but
I mean, I could see Game 5. You
think
always
it
want
goes
to say
3-2.
Game 5 with 2 top 4 teams, top 2 teams, you could say. But I just think Toronto is just significantly better in hardpoint. I don't see them losing both 2 and 3. So
They are
that's
the
way
better
I look at it
hardpoint
right
team,
now.
but I feel like FaZe can like squeak one out if it's
If
scrappy
they play
enough.
Rio, which they're probably going to square up on Rio, maybe. Because Simp and Abizi go crazy on that map. But
Yeah, but
so do
Envoy-
Cleax and Envoy. And
yeah, I was gonna
Scrap
say,
with
they
that
both
third
do.
sub is nuts.
So like, I feel like I think FaZe can squeak one out.
Maybe. I just think I see a 3-1 more than I do see a 3-2.
Fair,
I think I'm going to.
but I have the hopium that FaZe squeezed out a hardpoint.
And then I'm going Minnesota Rokkr getting their first win against LA Thieves, 3-0.
3-1.
You're giving Thieves a mad. What are they winning? Not the hard point.
No, probably like a control or something. Are they good at control?
That was the only game
I don't
mode they were
remember.
winning, the major one. They
Yeah,
played a lot
yeah.
of invasion. I mean, they're probably going to ban
Team
Karachi.
Yeah,
Could be a high
I'm
rise.
I'm double checking.
I don't see Minnesota losing again.
Control, they're 4, 5. They're 5-5 on control.
I'll give them a match.
So, if anything, they might take in control. I think Minnesota's the better control team, but I'm giving them a charity now.
Dude, Miami might go 0-7.
Who they play next?
Next week they have the Ravens, and the following week they got the Minnesota Rokkr.
That's it.
Yeah, they've already played 4. They're 0-4. And they're playing
That's tough.
New York this week.
That is tough. I feel okay. We don't know what's going on with Real logistically, but if he's got that visa and they lose, then most likely they'll lose against subliners.
Yeah.
If all the logistics with Real are good, I think you see him Wake 4 because like you said, there's a strong possibility they could go 0-7 with how they've looked.
Bro, I just looked at Boston's next week. They got Optic and Faze. They need to win this game against Vegas. They gotta win this week.
Like I have Boston 3-2, but it's probably the most coin flippy.
And then they play
match.
Seattle. So they're 2-1 right now. They win this week, they'll be 3-1. They'll be 3-3 most likely next week. But they could cause an upset. They could. It would not surprise me if Slasher Thanos snaps and beats Optic.
They played Faze.
They played Faze really close. Their first game of the year. They should have won that, you could argue. And then they played Surge. So they're most likely going to go 4-3. A betting man would say 4-3.
Which I mean, it's better than what they did last stage.
Oh, yeah.
Starting out losers.
What Thieves got? Faze, Vegas, and Gorillas, and Ultra. Thieves are maybe winning one more game. Maybe.
Which one?
LAG. Maybe they
LAG?
they can flip the LA
sure.
curse. I don't know.
I think for that game we have to see how good Thieves look. Like even if LAG plays well, I mean they only play Surge. They play Surge, and then they play Ravens, where Thieves play Rokkr. And then
I mean, it's honestly gonna come down to Minnesota.
And then they play Legion. Yeah.
I think
if they look competitive against Rokkr and they beat Legion, then I think they can beat LAG.
I think the 2 guaranteed teams and losers right now are Surge, Carolina, and LAG. I think those 3 teams are making losers bracket. Or LA Thieves, actually. I'd say Surge. Did I say Thieves already? Surge, Thieves, and Miami. Those 3 are going to be in losers. And that last spot's going to be a toss-up between Vegas and
LAG. Put Boston in there too.
Rokkr.
And put Boston.
Vegas and Rokkr.
I feel like Boston should be
Rokkr
in
is
there
going to have 4 losses, which means they cannot go 4-3. So they can get in with 3-4. They'd have to beat this week. They'd have to beat Thieves. Next week they'd have to beat Surge, which they should, and then they'd have to beat Vegas and Miami.
Well, They can beat Thieves.
Oh wait, not Vegas. My bad.
They can beat
Miami.
Surge.
Miami and Surge. They have to win. They have to win out after losing to Faze. And then I don't know. If,
I think Minnesota can beat Miami.
yes, I agree.
Even though they can't close
Carolina's,
games, but
Carolina's making winners. I mean, they're gonna lose to Optic here most likely. Then they play Miami and LAG next week. They should win those games. Carolina should win those games.
I hope so.
And then they
'cause
play
it'll be
Vegas.
Really good to see them in winners.
So that'll do it for the predictions in this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed a little duo action. Hope Zach's he's got some news I think next week for the listeners. But hope he gets home safe, and we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Later.